Welcome back, Smash Heads, on to segment 2. If you didn't watch segment 1, go back and watch it, because there's probably spoilers in here, right? So, onwards though, for those that did watch segment 1, on to segment 2. Gowanda Outlaws starting us off on the road to take on the Miami Brawlers. Big game for both teams. The Gowanda Outlaws could clinch the Northeast Division with the overtime loss or better right here in this game, because of course the New York Empire took a loss in segment 1. Hey, see? One of those spoilers. What I tell you? Go back and watch segment 1. Alright? So the home side, we got the Miami Brawlers. They're in the playoff fight right now. Let's get a look at the record. So New York, Gowanda 12 wins, 4 losses, 2 ties, and no overtime losses. That makes up their 40 points. Miami, a record of 8 wins, 10 losses, no ties, no overtime losses, but they've been in a really bad rut, 5 straight losses now, but they are still in that playoff hunt with 24 points on the season. They need a win today to tie up with Montreal in the standings. If not, it goes to a tiebreaker, and I can't remember who beat who earlier in the season between Miami and Montreal. But that being said, this is a huge game right here for the Miami Brawlers. Of course, the Washington Patriots have been eliminated from the playoff race today, and as of right now, the Puerto Rico players are hanging on, and if Buffalo wins later, Puerto Rico will be out. So that kind of a game day. Things are really shuffling, taking shape here with just 2 game days left in the regular season. Let's get a look at the lineups here. For the Gowanda Outlaws, a league-operated team, they'll lead the way today with Reptile, followed by Hammer at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's going to be Black Spinebuster, and that 5-point gainer is Demon 4. To the home side of the field, we got the Miami Brawlers leading the way with Buzz-Off. Following him out there, it's going to be Gray Indy. At the captain spot is Spinebuster, and at 5-point gainer, it's going to be Green Demon. So, both teams set and ready to go. You notice Black Spinebuster and Spinebuster, and then Demon 4 and Green Demon, right? You say, oh man, how are these teams so separated in the standings? It's been all in the front two. Can the Miami Brawlers front two perform well here in this one? We're about to find out. Oh, not looking good right there. The initial collision is the initial flip, 5-0 Gowanda. So for Reptile now, getting out there and ready to go 2-0. We'll see if he can continue what he's doing. Gray Indy is his opponent here. Ooh. Oh, a really good shot there. And wow, both cars able to stay up there. Gray Indy with a good shot, and this time out of play goes Gray Indy. So score still 5-0. Reptile trying to get that 10-0 lead here first. Well, it almost did, but out of play goes Gray Indy. Still a 5-0 game. Outlaws on top. Gowanda, New York. Just about a 45-minute drive south of Buffalo, and out of play again goes Gray Indy. You wonder where that team came from. A lot of the roots of the CDL in Western New York make it 10-0 Gowanda. The 3-time Crash Bowl champs, but they haven't won one since 07. They are in the lead, 10-0 the scores, and now brings out Spinebuster. And some squirt is going to be needed, right? Both sides will get a little. And we'll go at it again. 10-0 the score. Outlaws in the lead. So go at it again. Reptile trying to end this thing. And both teams hanging on here as the fight continues. And in between intermissions, if what happens, yep, and it is over right there. The Miami Brawlers take a tough loss in this one. 15-0 the final. The Gowanda Outlaws get the win, and that may have knocked Miami out of the playoffs. Now, that's a tough loss for Shane Geiser's Miami squad. They had things going so well earlier in the season, and then it's just led at the midseason point to total, utter collapse. But on the positive side, they finished in dead last place last year. So to be in dead last place, to go into being in the playoff hunt, was something really good for them. They just got to figure out the finish for 2022. But his Philadelphia Demons already won the Atlantic Division title, but now they have a partner in the East as far as division titles is concerned. The 2021 Northeast Division champions, folks, the Gowanda Outlaws. They will be part of that 1-2 combination with Philadelphia at the top of the East. They get a first round bye in the playoffs. So congratulations here to the Gowanda Outlaws. Not just playoff bound, but second round of the playoffs bound. So a Northeast Division title coming back to Gowanda, New York. So pretty awesome stuff for this team. They've really been so darn good this year, and another shutout win for them. Reptile, when he is hot, this team is really good, and he was really hot here in this one. And he's got the backup to go with him. So, but that could be a dangerous combination, and maybe Crash Bowl bound. I ain't gonna lie on that one. Maybe Crash Bowl bound. But a huge win for the Outlaws. They clinched the division, and that will do it for our soft field games. We're going to switch it up to the hard field next. Coming up, Chicago Wind Attack on the road to take on the Nevada Thunder. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the field, Smash Heads. Time for our next game on tap. The Chicago Wind Attack on the road to take on the Nevada Thunder. The Chicago Wind Attack coming into this game with a record of 10 wins, 6 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses. 32 points on the season. Currently has them holding down that final playoff spot in the Western Conference. They're tied with Seattle for it. So this is a huge game in the West for sure. To the home side of the field, the Nevada Thunder, last place in the Western Conference with their 17 points, made up from 5 wins, 11 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses. So for Nevada, they're playing for their pride's sake. Chicago, playoff implications certainly at hand. They can't clinch with the win here, but they can certainly better their odds with the victory. So let's go ahead and get a look at the lineups. For Jim Hull's senior Chicago Wind Attack, it's going to be Blue Dragon leading the way, followed by R at the middleman spot. Hot Indy will have the captain's position for the Chicago Wind Attack, followed by Red Detta at 5-point gainer. To the home side of the field, it will be Inferno leading the way here today for the Nevada Thunder, followed by Monkey at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's Black Lena, and at 5-point gainer will be 7 series. So both teams set and ready to go. Inferno and Blue Dragon leading us off. Both cars staying up on their first go, and out of play goes Blue Dragon. That's going to save Inferno. You've got to keep it in play. Still scoreless here as these two will go at it yet again. Blue Dragon again out of play. Game still scoreless and make it 5-5. Blue Dragon and Inferno taking each other out. And our game is all even at 5. That brings out R for Chicago and Monkey for Nevada. And both cars are going to be down here. 10-10 the score. No one's had a lead yet, but the next lead could be huge here. 10-10. Hot Indy now taking on Black Lena. Black Lena for the Thunder. Hot Indy for the Wind Attack. Chicago and Nevada battling it out here. And Black Lena is going to get a good flip. Hot Indy down. The score 15-10, Nevada in the lead, looking for the win now. Be a huge upset. Red Detta trying to force overtime. Red Detta picked up from the Denver Mustangs, now with the Chicago Wind Attack, trying to get the win. Not going to happen. Red Detta is down. Final score here, 15-10. And it's going to be the Nevada Thunder getting the win over the Chicago Wind Attack, and that could have dire consequences for Chicago moving forward in this playoff race. Well, right now I have to say they're probably just hoping Seattle takes a loss and basically some other teams take losses that would really help them out. But Chicago taking a very, very tough loss there. And really at that point, that means really kind of like 36, I think, is that cutoff point now. Let's see, 32, actually 35. So if you're above that 35-point mark now, in the Western Conference, you basically clinched a playoff spot with Chicago taking that loss right there. So, 15-10, the final score. The Wind Attack taking a tough loss there. Nevada scoring the upset. And I think Atlanta's happy, because that improves their chances. Even if they win today, I think they're still in last place. Going for that first overall draft pick next year. But speaking of Atlanta, the Avengers are up next. They're going to be hosting the Buffalo Warriors, and Buffalo could be a tornado sweeping through the Eastern Conference with the win, and I'll explain when we get back. Second half of our game day coming up. Second half of the segment coming up. Welcome back, CDL fans, or smash heads, as I affectionately do call you, halfway through our game day, halfway through this second segment. And if you haven't yet already, go on ahead and hit the subscribe, click on the bell, join us at Car Demolition League on Facebook, and ask about maybe, if you want, to own one of these teams, to be in the race for the Crash Bowl yourself. But that being said, we got a league-operated team here on the visitor side of the field. The Buffalo Warriors. They come to this game a record of 8 wins, 9 losses, no ties, and 1 overtime loss. And they are trying to become a whirlwind, if you will, in the Eastern Conference. They are holding down that last playoff spot. And with a win right here today, they could knock out a couple of teams. Puerto Rico would be knocked out. Washington already is knocked out. Miami could get knocked out if Buffalo wins here. And actually, I believe even Boston would get knocked out because they're tied with Buffalo right now. Buffalo owns the tiebreaker in the standings. So Buffalo could do a lot of damage here and, like I said, be a windmill. Their opponents, the Atlanta Avengers, the team that's not expected to win today or much any other game day. The Atlanta Avengers, 4 wins, 11 losses, no ties, and 3 overtime losses. With 15 points in the standings, they come to this game day last place in the entire league. So one positive thing for Matt Geiser's Atlanta Avengers, this is one of the teams that is owned, is that, hey, you got the draft coming up next year, make good use of it, and plus Phoenix is doing really good this year, and speaking of the Firebirds, they're going to be playing next. But let's go on ahead and get a look at the lineups for the Warriors, trying to do so much damage today while hanging on to that 6th seed in the East. It's Yellow Custom leading the way for the Warriors today, followed by What at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's Tyrell, and that 5-point gainer, it's Toy Soldier. Now, this team has kind of had some epic collapses the last couple of game days that have really let some teams that were kind of out of it get back into it. So we'll see what they can do here. To the home side of the field, Atlanta playing for nothing but their own pride at this point. Mika leads the way for them. Mika, followed by Monkey Ball at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's going to be Solar Reflex, and a 5-point gainer will be Red Dragon. So here we go. Both cars ready to go. Both teams ready to go. Yellow Custom was ready to go. The offense came out right away, but that time he's down. Mika gets the flip. 5-0 Atlanta in the lead. Boy, what an upset would do in the Eastern Conference playoff standings. I want to talk about shaking things up. As we had a little gray shot there, both cars survive it and back to their own sides after that collision. What, trying to tie this game up for the Warriors goes out of play. Mika trying to get that 10-0 lead. Ooh, this field's starting to come apart here at this edge. It's an old field, I will say that much. It's been in use since the 2017 season. So as a matter of fact, for at least this cover, it's going to be last year for the cover that we're using. Clearly, it's not going to be the 25th season next year. So, anyways, still a 5-0 game. The Avengers in the lead, and a little gray shot there. Both cars staying alive. Switching sides, going at it again. And staying up there is what? No interference. Keeping the home side of the field, whether he wants it or not, is another question at this point. But he's down right there. I don't think he wanted it. Mika gets the flip that makes it 10-0 Atlanta. So, Atlanta now, trying to put this game away. Trying to play spoiler for a lot of teams. Donut Surfer dinner. Mika was able to go airborne and land upright. Tyrell gets flipped. 15-0 the final score. It's a huge upset. And Buffalo's had so many chances to try to really lock down a playoff spot, to really try to tie things up in the East. They failed to do so yet again. Actually, as of right now, Montreal has moved up into that final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. And depending on what the Boston Vandals do later on the road against the Tampa Bay Gators, you know, we'll see if they stay there. But another tough loss for Buffalo here. How many in a row now? 1, let's count them out. See, 1, 2, okay, 2 losses in a row, but 3 out of their last 4. Actually, 4 out of their last 5. 4 out of their last 5 games have been losses, Buffalo. So, again, they've had chances to really run away with that division, or not division, but the playoff race, rather, to run off with that 6th seed and maybe go further with it, and have failed to do so countless times now. In Buffalo, kind of just choking away the season here, and I think Miami kind of breathing a sigh of relief. They know they're still only 1 point back, but and I did look it up. Miami's still in the playoff hunt. Montreal is 3 points ahead, but Miami won the head-to-head meeting of the season, and they got more wins than Montreal does on the year. So that would automatically kind of do that one in. So, but we will see. See what happens on the next game day. But still some questions, a lot of questions left to answer about the playoff race in the Eastern Conference. And they will be answered by the end of the game day, I feel. But coming up next, back to the West. Mexico City Jaguars trying to clinch the Central Division title on the road against the Phoenix Firebirds. Stay tuned. Welcome back, Smash Heads. Final game of the second segment is about to take place. We've got the Mexico City Jaguars, 13 wins and 5 losses, no ties or OT losses, 39 points on the season. They're on the road to take on the Phoenix Firebirds. Phoenix with a record of 11 wins, 5 losses, no ties, and 2 overtime losses, 35 points on the season. Now, with Chicago taking a loss today, that means that the most points that could be gotten now by a 7th place team would be 35. So, that being said, Phoenix with the opportunity here, they have 35 points on the standings. They might already have a playoff spot clinched due to that, but I think they lost to Chicago earlier in the season, so if they can at least pick up a point from today's game, they will clinch a playoff spot for sure. The Mexico City Jaguars, 2 points or better, or a tie or better, and they will clinch the Central Division. So both these teams with a little something to gain, and I think they could both get it from overtime, really. You know, if they tie each other, then they both win. Phoenix clinches a playoff spot, and of course, Mexico City clinches their division. So maybe orchestrated thing between Matt Geiser and Brandon Kuma, but nah, I think both teams want the win. Let's go on ahead and get a look at the lineups. For Brandon Kuma's Mexico City Jaguars, it's 48 Hours leading the way, followed by Solid Snake at the middleman spot. To the captain spot, it's going to be Inquisitor, and it's going to be Charizard at 5-point gainer for the Jaguars here today. To the home side, Green Arrow leads the way for the Phoenix Firebirds, followed by Kid Custom. Power Pistons at the captain spot, and at 5-point gainer is Solid Snake. Both teams ready to go. Their first cars ready to go. Green Arrow and 48 Hours, game is on. And make it 5-0 Phoenix. Mexico City coming off a loss, trying to get things back going. But Phoenix with the early lead here as that brings out Solid Snake. Solid Snake and Green Arrow, and this time we had Green Arrow on a little clip shot there. As a matter of fact, it's going to be under review to see if contact was made. I thought it was made, but I'm just going to double check because that was really loose contact there. Alright folks, I mean, I'm actually going back on that one saying that it was just a bad roll. So not even really reviewing it. I didn't like how it came off my hands there. And it ain't to save Solid Snake here, but it was just a really bad roll. And Mexico City sort of had something happen to them last game day. Got counted as a gravestone shot that led to a loss for them. And it just feels kind of wrong doing it to them twice in a row off really what was a chintzy roll. We'll see if Green Arrow can do it twice. Still 5-0 Phoenix in the lead. And they go at it again. Both cars staying up, and this time Green Arrow is down. So make it a 5-5 game here, and that will bring out Kid Custom now for the Firebirds. Make it 10-10, both cars go down. So now we got Inquisitor out there for the Mexico City Jaguars, and it's going to be Power Pistons out there for the Firebirds. Game tied at 10. Make it 15-10 Phoenix. They get the point, and that will send them to the playoffs right there. 15-10 the score. Power Pistons looking to put this game away, and that is Charizard trying to force overtime for the Mexico City Jaguars. Both cars staying up there on their second go. Two power piston models, or Lena models, as they're also known, going at it here. Black Lena and power pistons, and Black Lena's down. And that will end this game. 15-10 the final. My bad. 2 fingers right there. 15-10 the final. Each finger is 5 points, in case you're wondering what my crazy hand signals were on the field here. But the score, 15-10. It is the Phoenix Firebirds getting the win. You could say questionable call there, but it was really a bad rule. Wasn't feeling it. Being the official and the announcer, kind of doing both those things, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm noticing things as an official, rolling the car off the hand, but it was just kind of a bad sort of rule, and sometimes I will definitely kind of let it slide. It's more of a judgment call, and I just, in good judgment, couldn't let that rule stand. But Phoenix comes back and wins it anyway here, so 15-10 the final. Firebirds get the victory over Mexico City. And coming up next will be that final segment. So the Jaguars, they are just 4 points ahead, actually 5 points ahead of both Detroit and Houston. So both Detroit and Houston were to lose in that final segment, Mexico City would still clinch the division. But tough loss there for Mexico City, and a good win for Phoenix that clinches them a playoff spot. Puts them back in the first place. No, actually, no, it doesn't. Puts them 1 point behind Los Angeles for first place in the Pacific. So that Pacific Division title is by no means ending. So coming up, segment 3, Detroit and San Fran, Boston and Tampa Bay, Toronto and Philly, and then Houston and Seattle. So stay tuned.